Hi, welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. For the people who listen here all the time, you will notice that this is not my voice. We're a bit under the weather. We're doing some traveling right now, and you know how it goes already. But nonetheless, we have to bring you the information. Shout out to the people who tune in all the time. If you've never tuned in before, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button, please, and let's get right into this video. So, it has come to my realization that the reality that dancehall superstar, international megastar Vybz Kartel could possibly die in a Jamaica prison. Yeah, if you look back not too long ago, and I've done videos on this in the past, I've done a video where I spoke about why he is where he is and who wants him there. And I've also done a more recent video where I outlined the plan. The plan is to have him pass away in a Jamaican prison, and then they can blame it on natural causes. Yes, that's the plan for Vybz Kartel. Now, whether that plan actually works or not, we will see. As it stands, his case will be heard before the Jamaica Appeal Courts after it has been sent back from Privy Council with a quashed verdict, and that begins on the 10th and that ends on the 14th, and after that we will know if there will be a new trial, and we will also know if they will be released on bail or if the case itself, the charges, will disappear. But in the meantime, I've been paying attention while traveling, and I've saw Fox 5. Shout out to Lisa Evers out of New York, Fox 5. I've seen an article also in a Jamaica Star, and we've gathered some information to put some things together and put things in perspective for the people who are seeking to understand what is going on. Now, first let me start out by saying this, and I need you to pay close attention. So, many people are charged with murder in Jamaica on an annual basis. Walk with the story. Many people are charged with murder, and those who are charged with murder, many of them have been given bail. Some of them have even been proven to be a menace to society, and still they were granted bail. And the reason why I say this to you is because a lot of people have said to us, oh, you only want Vybz Kartel to get bail, but in Jamaica we don't give bail to murderers. And I say to you that that is a lie. In Jamaica, murderers get bail all the time. I'll say it again. In Jamaica, murderers get bail all the time. The crazy part is a lot of them who get bail, they've gone on to commit other murders. They've also gone on to disrupt their own cases, as in getting rid of witnesses. So when the case is finally called before the courts, there is no case to answer to because there is nobody to be found. Either witnesses were intimidated and they ran away, or they were killed, therefore they cannot come to court, or they simply disappeared and the law in Jamaica can no longer find them. So I want people to stop acting like Vybz Kartel would be the first person ever charged with murder. Remember, his conviction was quashed. So in the eyes of the law, he is now an innocent citizen that is accused, and he is charged, because although the Privy Council quashed the guilty verdict from his trial, the charge of murder still remains. This is why it is up to the Jamaica DPP to decide if they want to pursue a new trial, or the Court of Appeals to decide, we've heard enough, we've seen enough, it's not going to stand, let's end it right here. He's given us 12 years of prison time already, right? Now, for those of them who say, SouFlo, you're so lie, Who do we ever give bail to that was charged with murder? I want you to go look up the Jamaica Gleaner, May 4th, 2024. St. Catherine man charged with attempted murder, granted $200,000 bail. I want you to go look up the Jamaica Observer, May 9th, 2024. Father granted bail in Flower Hill murder case, son remanded. I want you to go look up Loop News, Jamaica. 14-year-old charged with fatally stabbing of schoolmate, stabbed and killed his schoolmate, granted bail. I want you to go look up man charged, Jamaica Gleaner, 15th of May, 2024. Man charged in female security guards murder, offered bail. I want you to go look up RJR News, music producer on murder charge, granted $800,000 bail. And the list goes on and on. RJR, 19-year-old man facing murder charge, granted bail. And then there is Vybz Kartel, denied bail. So I can go on and on with the list. And if you notice, I did this on purpose because these are only people who are charged in 2024 with murder. The state had enough evidence that they committed murder to charge them with murder, and yet all of them were granted bail. So again, to the argument, we don't give bail to murderers in Jamaica, I say to you, you are a big hater that's masquerading as somebody who wants justice, but you don't see it as justice for one and justice for all. You don't give two shits about Lizard. You just hate Vybz Kartel that much. Now, the reason that the Privy Council expedited Vybz Kartel case was actually on humanitarian grounds, citing his medical condition, which means his attorney went before the Privy Council, submitted a case that said, hey, my client is living in subhuman conditions in prison in Jamaica, and he has a serious health issue where he could possibly die. Those health issues are being exacerbated, or the conditions that he's placed in that prison is causing his health issues to act up and get worse. So the Privy Council thought that that was a ground on which they could speed up his hearing, and they did. Not only did they speed up the hearing, they also quashed the original conviction, right? Now you have my Jamaican hypocrites who will say things like this. You do the crime, you must do the time. Me not care if him dead in there. Make him tanny in there. And then you will have others who will say, so Vybz Kartel is not the only person who is in prison in Jamaica who is having health issues, and him want to get out now because him have health issues. Kiss me teeth, make him tan in there. Let me remind you that others have committed crimes as well and have gotten bail on the same humanitarian grounds in Jamaica. Must I remind you of the popular attorney at law, Jennifer Masado? This is the person who SouFLoTV call Messy Masado. Jennifer Masado is the attorney who was accused of falsifying paperwork, of taking people's properties, land and houses, and selling them to people. Could you imagine if I took your house, doctored up some paperwork, cause you live a foreign most of the time, and sell your house and collect the money, 70, 80 million, however that much that would be, just give you an example. And then when you return to Jamaica, there's a new family living in your house that says that the house was sold and the paperwork was finalized with the help of this attorney. These were the charges against Jennifer Masado, to include famous entertainer that she robbed of his money. We're talking about Gully God, Movado. To this day, Movado has not gotten his money back. Messi Masado went to court and she shit herself, doo-doo herself in the courtroom, which I believe was a planned act between herself and her defense team. Drink some Cersei, drink some Senapod, drink some laxative, time it well, go into the court, swallow your pride and your ambition, and as soon as the judge says this, that, and that, just let go of shit. And you might think it's funny listening to this, because this is how I ended up with the name Messi Masado instead of Jennifer Masado, because she messed herself up in the court. But it was based on that condition that she boo-booed herself in court, that they saw humanitarian reasons to place her on bail and put her on some strict restrictions, whereas all her attorney had to say is, look, Your Honor, my client doodling up herself right now. Her condition is not good. So if you put her in a jail cell, I hope you have somebody there, some medical staff, to look after her 24/7, because she requires constant care. You see, she come in here and lose her bowels, right? Okay, so the judge ended up putting Messi Masado on bail, $800,000 bail, and putting her in her own house. So before 6 o'clock, she was ordered not to leave her house before 6 o'clock each morning, and she was to return home to her house by 6 p.m. in the evening. So from 6 in the morning till 6 in the evening, she can be out and about and anywhere in Jamaica that she pleases, right? Why can't the same be granted to an individual like Vybz Kartel? We have not talked about the details of Vybz Kartel's case yet, as far as his medical condition worsening and what a highly respected doctor has said after checking him out. We'll get into that in a minute. I'll give you an example of somebody else who committed a serious crime and he was able to get bail as well. And these are stories you can go look up, you know. Don't think I'm trying to be, oh, he's a Vybz Kartel fan, so SouFlo is just making shit up. That's not the way I do. All right? I want you to go look up Robert Chin, the brother of Jamaican politician, a member of parliament's brother, Robert Chin. Now, in the member of parliament's defense, I will say that he had come out to say that he had nothing to do with this, that his brother was caught up in, and him and his brother were not raised together. His brother had not lived in Jamaica in over 30 years, but yes, they do have the same father, etc. So as a politician, he sought to distance himself from this crime that his brother had committed. Now, mind you, it's a serious crime. We're talking about $90+ million worth of cocaine he was caught with recently at the Norman Manley International Airport in Jamaica. It amounted to about 600,000 US dollars worth of cocaine. Street value. The exact amount was a little over 12 kilos of cocaine. I don't know if you ever seen a kilogram of coke. Brother man went to the airport and checked in a suitcase with 12 kilograms of coke. Now, a couple of things happen here, which is why you know that Jamaica has different laws for different folks. After checking in this parcel, this suitcase, they realized that something was wrong with the suitcase and the suitcase needed to be searched. So they gathered him up and they put him in a location and they said, listen, we're going to search your suitcase now, right? They bust the suitcase open and he disappeared. He disappeared and he made it out of the airport and he left. So they put him on the news and then he showed up. And then when he showed up, he was granted bail. Okay? He was granted bail after being caught at Norman Manley International Airport. This is Chin with 12 kilos of cocaine. So, he got a $700,000 bail on humanitarian grounds. Again, it's the same grounds that Isaac Buchanan them brought to the Privy Council, which sped up the process for Vybz Kartel. It's the same grounds on which they are seeking his bail right now. It's the same grounds on which Messi Masado, Jennifer Masado, the thieving attorney, alleged got her bail, humanitarian. It's the same grounds on which Chin got his bail as well. On January 6th, he was granted a $700,000 bail on humanitarian grounds, citing the court was told of his health condition, that he has kidney issues and he needed dialysis. And they granted him bail. And the media went quiet, and we haven't heard from him since, which tells me that he is not in Jamaica serving time. Now, if I ask the average Jamaican, is it okay to transport 12 kilos of cocaine through Norman Manley International, they will say, hell no, that's wrong. 12 kilos? $90 million worth of coke, 600,000 US dollars worth of cocaine, but yet still nobody in Jamaica who is calling for Vybz Kartel for tan in there and dead in there. Not one of you have said anything about any of these people who have all gotten exactly what Vybz Kartel's attorney is trying to get him, which is released on humanitarian conditions based on his health issues, so that he can go get proper medical help and not die in a Jamaica prison. Remember, he was sentenced to 35 years before eligible for parole, or 32. He was not sentenced to death. So, the Star puts out an article that says Liquor Vybz Kartel's son, says that his father is in need of urgent surgery. And a official doctor's report that was gotten by Fox 5 News out of New York, as well as the Jamaica News Media entity, have confirmed the risk of his mortality. In other words, Vybz Kartel is slowly dying behind bars in Jamaica. Vybz Kartel's heart condition has reportedly worsened due to his battle with Graves' disease, according to medical reports. Now, if you don't understand what Graves' disease is, you can go look it up. But if you want a living person who is going through it, you can look for the daytime talk show host Wendy Williams and her current situation. The bulging eyes, her belly's getting big, her ankles and feet swollen, etc., etc. Graves' disease. Vybz Kartel has been battling the same thing for about 8-9 years or so now. Now, in an exclusive interview with the Jamaica Star, Liquor Vybz, in an emotional summary of his dad's medical report, said that his father's state is deteriorating rapidly. So did his doctor. Vybz Kartel's doctor has said, but the doctor has actually given numbers, right? It is bad. It's really bad right now. Kartel is a tough person, So Kartel isn't going to stay there and beg and cry and, whoa, me, I'm dead, I'm dying. Matter of fact, I saw an article where he left a message, and the message said, you know how many of them have fight me? You know how long they've been fighting me? And you know how many of them that's been fighting me, dead and gone, left me here. Them dead from heart attack, stroke, all kind of something. And I'm still here, fighting. Pardon my cough. Now, his condition is not getting any better, and that's because of the condition he's been held in and the lack of urgency to get him some medical health care. Yes, he's on medication, but despite that, his condition is worsening. So that's another big problem. And because of that, it was recommended by the doctor to go to surgery. So Vybz Kartel now currently requires surgery, according to his doctor. And that surgery can be life-changing, life-altering. Of course, we're going to have to talk about where he will heal up after the surgery. In medical records that were obtained by the news team, dated May 2nd of 2024, Vybz Kartel's doctor stated that the artist has lost 20% of his heart function from the capacity it was at this same time last year. So in 1 year's time, he has lost a whole 20% of function from his heart. Now you got to remember, his heart wasn't functioning at 100% before. I believe it was functioning at like 80% before, and he has lost another 20. So his heart is probably functioning at about 60%. I'm no mathematician, but that shouldn't be hard for anybody to figure out. Imagine your heart functioning at 60%. In other words, the doctor says his echocardiogram showed a moderate decrease in global wall function with an ejection fraction of 37%. Now check this out. An ejection fraction from 41 to 49%, that might be considered too low. He is at 37. That's to show you how bad his condition is. It does indicate that he is developing heart failure, which may lead to a heart attack. The EF measurements under 40% might be evidence that he is getting closer to the possible risk of heart failure or cardiomyopathy. This is what the report stated from his doctor. It was also observed that since his last medical examination in June of 2023 to the examination in 2024, Vybz Kartel has also developed increased abdominal girth, meaning his belly is bulging bigger. His eyes are also bulging bigger because that comes with it. Like I said, go look up Wendy Williams. You will see Wendy Williams sometimes, her eyes bulge severely. Now, despite his condition getting worse, they're still moving slow in Jamaica, and the fact that he needs to get medical attention as soon as possible, but his case is always delayed. They're always slow motioning it. Mind you, the Privy Council, which is higher than any court in Jamaica, found it right to expedite the case, to move at a speedy pace with this case based on humanitarian grounds and his health issues. Yet still, when it's kicked back to Jamaica to do their part, they choose to move as slowly as possible. Wow. Now with all that, it must be very frustrating, and I will go ahead and say this in closing, that his attorney says, I further recommended that the cardiology evaluation be performed as soon as possible to prevent further deterioration in his cardiac function and the increased risk of him having a heart attack. It is an emergency medical issue with him. I see a lot of people saying stuff like, oh, so him sick in there, so him supposed to come out because him sick. Everybody else was sick in there need to come out too. Listen, man, we don't give two shits about anybody's opinion out here on social media, especially if you're not supporting, right? What we do say though is this. We saw this plan coming a long time ago. And if you go dig up our video, you'll realize that we spoke on this a long time ago, that this was exactly the plan. From about 8 years ago, when they said that that's what he was suffering from, I said they will make sure to put him in situations where it will exacerbate his condition. That way they can kill him without killing him, or kill him slowly so he dies what looks like a natural death. But in the end, it'll be them doing exactly what they wanted to do in the first place. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one. I'll catch you on the next video. It's SouFLoTV. Walk good. I'm out. Peace.